good morning, afternoon, or evening. How y'all doing today? Welcome back to Mr. Morrow's Algebra class. Today we are going to be continue talking about systems of equations. So far we've learned two ways to solve systems. The first way we learned was through graphing. You graph both equations, and the intersection point is their solution. That is the point that satisfies both equations. That is the point that makes, or the ordered pair that makes both equations true. We also learned about substitution, and I'm sorry about my voice. I have a little bit of a cold, so I apologize. We also learned about substitution. Substitution is when you solve for one variable, okay? Whether that variable be the x or the y does not really matter, okay? But you got to solve for one variable. Try to solve for the easiest variable given. Plug that value into the second equation. Solve for the second variable. Once you have that variable's value, you plug it back in, and you solve for the other variable. So substitution, graphing, done. Bye-bye. Have a good day. Today we're going to be talking about elimination method. Sometimes some books call it the addition method. Okay? Doesn't matter. It's the same thing. Addition works as well because in the end you are eliminating through addition. So it works. Now, the best way to learn it is just by actually practicing it. So let's do it. What is the solution of the system of equations 4x plus 2y equals 9 and negative 4x plus 3y equals 16? Okay, first things first, guys. Line up the equations variable to variable. What I mean by that is standard form. Okay? You want an ax plus by equals c form, both of them. And variable to variable, you want to line up the x's under the x's and the y's under the y's. Okay? Then you're going to add these two equations together. But you're going to add them making sure that one of the variables cancels out or is eliminated, hence the elimination method. Okay, so let's see the system that we have here. Will something be canceled out or eliminated when you add those two? Yes, sir. That's exactly right. When you add these two together, my friends, 4x minus 4x goes bye-bye. That's 0. So I've got 2y's plus 3y. That's 5y equals 25. Go ahead and divide by 5. Y equals 5. Now that we have the value of y, it's kind of like a substitution again. You're going to substitute the value of the variable you just solved for into either of the given equations and solve for the other variable. So now that you know that y equals 5, you can plug that. Okay, I want you to be clear of this. You can plug that y back into here or here. I really don't care. Okay, it doesn't matter. So where do you want to plug it into? Top y, okay. So I've got 4x plus 2 times y, which is 5, equals 9. 4x plus 10 equals 9. Subtract 10 to both sides. 4x equals negative 1 divided by 4. X equals negative 1/4. So my solution is negative 1/4, comma 5. Do you think you could check this like you did before? Of course you can. Of course you can. Let's just check it right quick just for giggles. If x is negative 1/4, 4 times negative 1/4 is negative 1. 5 is y, so plus 10. Negative 1 plus 10 does equal 9. It works. Negative 1/4 times negative 4 is positive 1. Positive 1 plus 15, because y is 5, that does equal 16. Done. Does that make sense to everybody so far? Promise? Awesome. Next. This is the more common type of elimination you're going to have. Why is it the more common? Because it's a little bit more complicated. Sometimes, a lot of the times actually, you will have equations that do not eliminate easily. By eliminate easily, that's like our first example. You had a 4x and a negative 4x. That cancels out nice and easy. In these cases, you need to line up the equations just like normal, variable to variable, and create an equivalent system by multiplying each side of one or both equations in the system by the same non-zero number. So, what on earth did I just say? I'm going to tell you right now. I have 2x and a 3x, a 7y, and a 5y. If I add those two together, am I ever going to cancel out the x's or the y's? All right. So what do you think I would do? Close. I'm very proud of you. You don't multiply it by an x because they both have x's, but definitely, my boy said he wanted to get rid of the x's. So he wants to make this top one a 6x. So he's going to multiply by 3 to both sides. He wants to make this bottom one a negative 6x. So he's going to multiply the bottom by negative 2. You got to distribute this value to everything. Okay? So this will now become 6x plus 21y equals 8 minus 6x minus 8. It's not 8, it's 12. Thank you. Minus 10y equals 10. The x's cancel out. 21y minus 10y is 11y, and that equals 22. Divide by 11. Y equals 2. Now that y equals 2, I can plug it into either of the x's of my original equation. And not the x's, come on, ding dong, the y's. Where do you want to plug it into? Okay, so I've got 2x plus 7 times y, which is 2, equals 4. 2x plus 14 equals 4. Subtract 14 to both sides. Subtract 14 to both sides. What did I do? And I get 2x equals negative 10 divided by 2. X equals negative 5. So my solution, negative 5, 2. Okay? And exactly what we did. After you have already canceled out one of the variables, line up the equation variable to variable and add the equations together, making sure that one of the variables eliminate. Substitute the value of the variable you just solved for into either of the given equations and solve for the other variable. Does that make sense, guys? Yes? Yes, no, maybe kind of, sort of? All right, awesome. Next. Okay, let's see what we got here. I got 2x plus 5y equals 17, and I got 6x minus 5y equals negative 9. I want you to solve this by elimination. Are we good to go here? Yeah, go ahead and add them right up, straight up. That's going to be 8x, the 5y minus 5y cancel. That equals 8 divided by 8. X equals 1. Now that x equals 1, where do you want to plug it into? Okay. 2 times x, which is 1, plus 5y equals 17. Subtract 2 to both sides. 5y equals 15 divided by 5. Y equals 3. My solution is 1, 3. Does that make sense, gentlemen? Every procedure there makes sense. Yes, sir. Thank you.
It's not really a question. Is it possible, like, if you wanted to solve it by substitution instead?
Okay, the question was, is it possible to solve by substitution? No, because I said use elimination.
Oh,
So it depends on the directions. On the test, I'm going to tell you, solve by graphing. I'm going to give you a couple to solve by graphing. I'm going to say, solve these by substitution. I'm going to give you a few for substitution. I'm going to say, solve these by elimination. And then I'm just going to say, solve using any method. And then you can use any method. And we'll talk about when to use what and all that good stuff. Okay? When to use what. Okay, may I continue, my brothers? Thank you. Okay. Now, can I have an easy peasy elimination here in this case? No. So the first question, who do you want to solve for? Because I don't care. Okay, that made no sense. Who do you want to eliminate, guys? Okay, what variable would you guys like to eliminate? The x. Okay. In order to get rid of the x's, I need to make 5x and 3x opposite values so that I can go ahead and subtract them. So what does 5 and 3 have in common? 15. Very good. Thank you. So what do I want to multiply this top by? 3. And this bottom? Beautiful. So let's do it. Remember, this negative 3 has to get distributed to everything. So it's 15x minus 27y equals negative 129. Then I got to multiply this negative 5 to everything. So that's negative 15x minus 40y, right? Yeah. Equals negative 340. Negative 340. Thank you. Does everyone see how and why I did that? You promise. All right. The x's cancel. This is negative 67y equals negative 469. Okay? You guys with me there? Divide both sides by negative 67. And believe it or not, the answer is 7. 7 times 60 is 420. 7 times 7 is 49. 420 and 49, 469. Negative divided by a negative is a positive. Does that make sense? Now that I have that y, bless you, I can plug it into either equation. Where do you want to plug it in? The bottom one, someone said. Okay, we'll go with that one. 3x plus 8 times y, which is 7, equals 68. 3x plus 56 equals 68. Subtract 56 to both sides. 3x equals 12. Divide by 3. X equals 4. My solution here would now be 4, 7. And of course, you can check this. Does that make sense, gentlemen? Promise? Okay. Now the fun part. Word problems. Okay. I know. You guys don't like word problems. I know. However, the reason why you don't like word problems is because you're not good at word problems. And the reason why you're not good at word problems is because most of your teachers probably have skipped word problems in the past. True or false? True. Of course it's true. Do you know why they skipped word problems? Because it's hard. Yeah. And it's easier it's easier for me not to teach something difficult than to teach something difficult. It's actually laziness. So when a teacher doesn't teach a word problem, it's because they're trying to make their lives easier. Luckily, I'm not here to make my life easier. I'm here to educate you and for you to succeed in your life. And part of that is taking the SAT and the ACT, and you still have 4 or 5 more years of math ahead of you. So let's go ahead and learn this today, once, the right way, and let's be done with it. All right, that's my goal. So hopefully we can do that. Thank you. Okay, guys, let's talk about an application. A music store offers piano lessons at a discount for customers buying new pianos. The cost for lessons and a one-time fee for materials, materials could be including music, books, CDs, software, etc., are shown in the advertisement. What is the cost of each lesson and the one-time fee? Labels, 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 labels. You're talking about two different things here, my friends. You're talking about lessons and the one-time fee. Thank you. So I'm going to go ahead and call X lessons. I don't have to. I could call that Y. But I'm going to go ahead and call X lessons. Then I'm going to go ahead and call Y the one-time fee. That is super important. If you cannot figure out what you're solving for, that's a big problem. So always isolate, figure out what you're solving for, and label, 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 label. Now, according to this advertisement, you get 6 lessons for $300, but what else is within that lesson? The one-time fee. So it's 6 lessons, X. Do we know how much X costs? How much the lessons cost? No. Plus the one-time fee of Y, which we also do not know. But we do know that 6 lessons and the one-time fee equals $300. We also know that 12 lessons, good, X is lessons, we know that because we labeled, great job, plus the one-time fee Y will equal $480. That's what we know from what we were given. Before I continue, because I know that solving is the easy part, does anyone have any questions as to how or why I set it up like that so I can help them? No, we're good? Okay, who do you guys want to eliminate? Yeah, so I'm going to multiply this top one by a -1. They want to eliminate the Y. So it'll be minus 6x minus Y equals -300. Cancels. 6x equals 180. Divide by 6. X equals $30. Now I want to solve for my Y. So plug it in. 6 times 30 plus Y equals 300. That's 180 plus Y equals 300. Subtract 180 to both sides. Y equals 120. So now I know my lessons cost $30 each, comma, and the one-time fee is $120. Now be honest. Would you have ever thought you could have solved something like that? Okay, some of you are shaking your head. Good, you're being honest. Do you see how easy that is, really? All it takes is labeling. Label. And then just read. Fill in the blanks. Ready for another one? All right. The theater club sells a total of 101 tickets for $164. A student ticket costs $1, an adult ticket costs $2.50. How many of each ticket were sold? Label, 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 label. Who do you want X to be? Students. Student, yeah, students, number of students. What do you want y to be? The number of adults. Very good. Okay. My friends, how many total tickets did they sell? 101 tickets. How can I represent that the right way in an equation? The number of students, X, plus the number of adults, Y, totaled 101 tickets. Does that make sense? How much was each student ticket? $1 for every student plus $2.50 for every adult equaled 164. Guys, do you see how simple this is? Who do you want to solve for? X would be the wise choice. I'm going to go ahead and multiply everything then here by a negative. Giving me negative X minus Y equals negative 101. The X's cancel. I've got 150Y equals 63. The answer is going to be 42, but I'll prove it. 1 to the right, 1 to the right. Bring that bad boy up. 15 goes into 63 4 times, which is 60. And then 15 goes into 32 times. So Y is 42. So there's 42 adults. How do I know how many children or students do I have now? Plug it in. Thank you very much. Good job, brother. X plus 42 equals 101. Subtract 42 to both sides. X equals 59. Students. So my solution, 59 students went, comma, 42 adults. Label, equation, solve. Talk to me, my friends. How are we doing with this? Okay. Next and last. Alright. Washing 2 cars and 3 trucks takes 130 minutes. Washing 2 cars and 5 trucks takes 190 minutes. How long does it take to wash each kind of vehicle? Talk to me. You started before I did. Good, good, good. Label, label, label. Talk to me. X you want as cars. Yes, sir. And then Y I would imagine you want as trucks. Very good. Thank you, gentlemen. Awesome. Okay. What do I know about this first sentence? 2X plus 3 trucks Y equals 130 minutes. Perfect. And what do I know about the next sentence? 2 cars are 2X plus 5 trucks, 5Y equals 190. Awesome. Who do you want to solve for? I'm sorry. Who do you want to eliminate? X, right. So, what do I do? You multiply the top one by a negative 1. Cool beans. So I'll have 2X plus 5Y equals 190. And then a negative 2X minus 3Y equals negative 130. 2Y equals 60 divided by 2. Y equals 30. Now that Y equals 30, who do you want to plug it into? Top equation? Cool beans. 2X plus 3 times 30 equals 130. 2X plus 90 equals 130. Subtract 90 to both sides. 2X equals 40 divided by 2. X equals 20. So it takes 20 minutes to wash a car and 30 minutes to wash a truck. Does that make sense? Yes, sir. You have a question, my man. Yes, sir. You have to put minutes in this case. Any other questions, my friends? Awesome. Thank you. I hope you learned a lot. Have a great day.